Hi guys, welcome to a brand new episode of the Arsenal Way. I'm Ashwin and he's Samrid. Just before I get into a very happy podcast with both of us really smiling, please subscribe to our channel. We're on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. It's the Arsenal Way. So please like, share, and subscribe there. Please help us grow. So anyway, let me get into the pod. Samrid, after two disastrous games, we've had two away victories. We played 4 away games in a row. I don't think any other team has played 4 games in a row post the restart. It's been 4 tough games. Ideally, we knew we're not going to beat Man City, but the game against Brighton we threw away. We saw improvements against Southampton, and there were definite improvements against who were we playing? I forgot on the weekend. Sheffield United. I'm sorry, yeah. Uh, I'm so excited that I've forgotten who we played on the weekend. So definitely we saw some big improvements there. Big tick for the manager for putting out a very competitive side. I think we mentioned it, um, and I think predictions wise, I got it right. I said there's going to be a hard fought 2-1 win, and Ceballos actually came up trumps. He's finally done something. We've been slagging him off for the past 2-3 pods. He's done something right, and he's validated his loan extension that he's got for that extended month. So, your thoughts on the game and how you took it, and what's next for us?
I think it's the first time in a while that I jumped up in delight after Ceballos scored the winner because it looked like we were creaking, especially after they equalized. I didn't think that we would go on to snatch it right at the death. Um, I was sure because there was just wave after wave of Sheffield attacks. McGoldrick especially was all over the place, and we just seemed at sixes and sevens at the back. But maybe that was the plan all along. Maybe to hit them on the counter, which is what happened. Saka and Pepe being instrumental in that, and Ceballos with a pretty smart finish at the end of the day. I mean, we've been slagging him off not for the past 2-3 pods for a while now because he's not really brought anything to us. It was the Burnley game, and now it's this, and that's too far of a gap for a player like him at what reportedly 40 million pounds to have a contribution like that. But no, I think it's great. It's knockout, doesn't matter how we get there. We're in Wembley once again, and we're playing City, who we beat a couple of the last time on our way to our 13th FA Cup triumph. Um, I mean, it's knockout football. It's on the day, as you've said before, we can beat anybody, and hopefully, this is another one of those catalysts for us to turn up on that day and show City that 3-0 was an aberration. And let's be fair, it we were all right till about 30 minutes before we self-destructed. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm looking forward. It gives Arteta a chance at redemption. It gives the players a chance at redemption. Gives Luis a chance at redemption, assuming he plays. But no, good stuff. It was a deserved win. I
We've been giving Arteta some flack for his selection and his substitutions as well. I think this game he got it spot on. Made the changes. I mean, it's easier to say that when you end up winning the game instead of you losing the game, and then you obviously pick out a few flaws. But I thought he in generally did well with the team selection. What was really interesting was that he brought Ainsley Maitland-Niles back in to right back, and I'm a big fan of Hector Bellerin. I love him, but ever since Hector's got injured, he's just not been the same. He lacks that pace. He lacks the physicality. He's not being able to play simple passes. And I think the last pod we were discussing about how he didn't overlap Pepe even once. I mean, if you watch back the game, I don't know what it is. Maybe tactics were set up differently. That Sheffield were a little weaker on their left and our right, versus if you were comparing that to Southampton, where Bertrand and Redmond were on their left and our right. So, things like that. But you could see how much of a difference Ainsley made. And if we have to play a 5 at the back, or essentially 3 at the back with 2 wing backs with Saka and Ainsley playing there, that right wing back position is there for Ainsley to take, because he was tremendous He worked well with Saka. I mean, so not Saka. He worked well with Pepe. He overlapped when needed. He gave him the defensive support when needed, and you could see how much more it brought out of Pepe's game. I felt that this was one of Pepe's best games, that because he was more involved. I immediately remember after he scored that penalty, there was a chance that Lacazette set him off on, and he had a shot instantly, and he was cutting in, and so there was a lot more involvement from Pepe as well, which you want to see. Obviously, you paid a lot of money for him. Uh, to say that he's got 16 goals and assists for us this season under three different managers, I mean, in the circumstances where our team has been absolutely crap this year, for him to still get that is amazing. Coming from a different league, not being able to speak the same language, still very young, still very raw. So I'm excited for his future. I'm excited for what he can do. And knowing what Arteta has done with the likes of Sane and Raheem Sterling, I'm excited to see what he can do with someone like a Pepe or a Maitland Niles or a Saka or a Martinelli, because that's his forte, that's his expertise to get the better out of players. And talking about getting the better out of players, before Arteta came, we all made fun of Mustafi. I mean, since Arteta's come, I think he's been our best defender. Fine, he has his lapses and concentrations here and there, but apart from that, I feel Mustafi's been that rock, and so has Xhaka. Props to Xhaka. I thought this year, after he went off throwing the captain's armband, swearing at the public, um, and to come back and be that important cog that he is. And I remember when Lacazette went off, he actually handed him the captain's armband as well. For him to get that back again, get that respect back again, is tremendous. So there are a few players that Arteta can work with, and if you add maybe about 3 or 4 more quality players, our team can probably start challenging for the top 4, top 5 again. But it just depends on how much patience the board has, how much patience I mean, we as an audience, as a fan base have, and how much time and how much backing we give Arteta. Because the signs are there for him to go on and become a great manager.
Look, I think anything over this season will be progress, because this has been a write-off completely. If we happen to add silverware by means of an FA Cup grade. But just coming back to your point on Pepe and Ainsley, I think the structure was definitely it seemed much more balanced, both down the left and on the right. On the left with Saka and Tierney, who was, by the way, an exceptional game. It seems that we finally have a left back who's comfortable on the ball, who knows when to run, who knows when to cross, because his crossing has been great right from day one. The couple of chances that he had right at the end as well, where Pepe just got on the end of the ball, flat cross completely in, and he's just very comfortable on the ball. So I'm glad that he's there for us on that left hand side, because I think if he stays fit, which I think has been an issue with him right throughout his career, even at Celtic, fitness was an issue. But if he's fit, that spot is his. There's no one who's going to come and take that spot. It would then be on us to figure out how we can then build that defense with him being an integral part of it. So I think Tierney was great. Um, Saka is I think the less said about him, it's never going to be enough to praise what he's been doing. He's been fabulous for us since for a while now, even both before the restart, as well as after. On the right, Pepe has been. I think the game suited Pepe more. I think he likes someone running off of him, so he doesn't have that defensive pressure always having to come back as well. He's free to do his own thing. He was involved right from the start, and you're right. The Ainsley has a chance now to step up and make that spot his, because the opportunity is there. We don't know Suarez rather how he's gonna play. We don't know Bellerin, because Bellerin has been off, like you've said. And quite honestly, Bellerin has been off the pace for a little while now. I'm not really sure. Even before his injury, he would give us that option of just making those overlapping runs. Maybe I would give him the benefit of doubt for now, because he's coming back after an injury, so maybe he's not match fitness is not something that is there completely. Um, but Ainsley, as much as we liked him in that spot, he's I think made pretty clear that he doesn't want to play right back. And I don't think he will be here next summer, because that would mean three positions, three players competing for that one position, which would be Bellerin, Suarez, and Ainsley, and I think Ainsley is more than capable right back. He's got the pace. He's got and he looked good on the ball as well. It's not like that position that he looked ill suited. But I don't think he will be here next summer. Um, on Arteta on the subs, I thought he was great. Xhaka and Ceballos seemed to have, even though we were on the back foot for the most of the second half, Xhaka does provide a sense of stability to that midfield, which I think we very clearly missed. Even in the City game, I thought we were fine um, before he went off. Um, so yeah, I think the signs are there for Arteta to take this team forward. It's about making smart purchases and hoping everyone stays fit. And yeah, we move on to City in the next round. But just before I hand it over to you, a word for Martinez, who's been great. He was very alert, very aware of what was happening and what wasn't. Made a good, smart couple of saves when we were under the cosh as well. But I think he's been very, very steady. So kudos to him as well.
Um, the one thing I think I saw this on Twitter or somebody discussed on a group. If Bern Leno had Martinez's kicking ability or his distribution ability, that would be amazing. I'm not saying that that Martinez doesn't do well as a shot stopper, but Martinez can really distribute the ball well. That one chance for Oba that he had, that long ball that he played, and it's just that his distribution is way more, better than Leno's. But I'm taking nothing away from Martinez. He's done really well for him to come right in from the cold and not having any match practice to come into these tough fixtures and playing. He's done really well, so I'm really happy with that. I was a little scared about the back three that we were playing. We were playing Kolasinac, David Luiz, and Mustafi. It was like there was going to. I felt like there was going to be some sort of mistake or some disaster waiting to happen. But luckily, we got through it. Quickly, before we move to the Norwich game and before we discuss City in the next round, I just want to talk to you. Your top three positives from the game that you can take away from the FA Cup game that we had.
Positives, I think one, we came away without any injuries again.
No,
Tierney,
Luis got
some
injured.
it was more for cramp. I think I don't.
No,
I think
no,
he'll be
no.
fine. I don't.
I
Is
think
he injured?
Arteta mentioned he's got a knock on his ankle and doesn't look good.
Well, then that's not great. Let me take that
Unless you're
back. But
considering Luis as I mean as a good thing as an injury.
I'll leave that open to interpretation. But good things. Tierney was great. Um, we have a left back who knows how to defend finally after Montreal. One Pepe looked. I mean, it's his first season without. I mean, all the points he made. Three different managers, no preseason, new league, new teammates, language. To contribute 16 goals and assists in his not even his first. It's not even first full season. It's a first full curtailed season. So I can't wait to see what he does next season, and I think he will probably end up with about 18 to 20 goals and assists for the season. Pepe was great, and I think finally I would say Ceballos I think was good when he came on. He gave us a win. I was calm and composed to have been in that situation. For someone who's not really scored for us at all this season, to be in that position and convert was great. Uh, Negatives, Lacazette is just not there. He's he looks far from a 50 million pound player that we've paid for him. He looks off the pace. He is sluggish. He's not winning second balls. I have no idea what he's currently bringing to the squad. Um,
I don't know. I thought it was Laka's one of his better games for us. I don't know. Like, he didn't obviously score, but he held up the ball well. I felt, and he
I mean,
put
he
in.
won us. He won us the penalty. I get that, but his returns are marginally better, if not the same as Giroud over a 5-year period, and we've paid what 4 times more than what we paid for Giroud.
Yeah,
You would expect him to score at least 2x more goals than Giroud did in a season, or
that's fair.
even one and a half. Like Giroud was giving us 20 goals a season at least. I want him to score at least 25 to 27 goals. 30, well, 30 is far. It was pushing it too far, but at least match that, and he hasn't done that.
Mhm.
I get it that he's got the reputation of scoring against big teams, and he's the the Liverpools and the Chelseas and
Tottenham.
Europa League games and whatnot. He's done the Tottenham as well. He does that, but you need a consistent player. Like £50 million is a lot of money for a player um, who's not doing what he should.
Mm,
I don't know where. I don't even think it's a system. If we wanted someone who holds up the ball, we wouldn't have let Giroud go.
mm,
That's one. Second, um, I still think even though Kulasa has a good game, I don't think he's very convincing. I think we need a backup there for Tierney to, and someone who's like Tierney, who's if not going great going forward, at least can defend. I think Kolasinac struggles, and finally, I think no, I think those would only be the two things I would think of. Lacazette has not been great, and I think Kolasinac is we need good backup there.
all right. Just before I move on to our first home game after 4 away games that we've had, let me just read this to you. 4th of July, we play. No, okay. Let's get back to the 1st of July, which is on Wednesday. We play Norwich at home. Followed by the 4th of July, we go away to Wolves. 7th of July is home to Leicester. 12th of July is away to Spurs. 16th of July is home to Liverpool, and 19th of July is City at Wembley, which is the FA Cup semi-final. uh, take City out of that. Considering Norwich, Wolves, Leicester, Spurs, Liverpool, that's 5 games. How many points do you think we're going to get from that?
Look, I don't think we're going to beat Wolves. I think we will. I don't think we'll win against Wolves or Liverpool. I think we will beat the others. I think
So
we'll
you
beat Leicester at home. I think we'll win the Norwich game. And what's the
and the
last game that you
Spurs,
mentioned?
Spurs.
I think we'll beat Spurs away.
So you're saying we're getting 9 points out of 15?
9 out of 15. Yes.
And what about the FA Cup semi-final? You think we can get through?
Uh, depends who's fit by that time, because if we end up having too many injuries, because these are going to be high intensity games, and with where we're placed, I think we know that as well, that we need the wins. Um, Unless of course we get completely run over by Liverpool, or if Liverpool just get luck, give us a pass, like you know what, just go ahead. And even if they don't give it their 110%, which you know is not going to happen. So
I
I
think
would
I
I
think
would
Klopp wants to break the record and like make as many points as he can and win as many games as he can.
I mean, if we get anything from the Liverpool game, it'll be because they've not they've had a bad
Bad
day and
day.
we've been lucky. But it's at home, so I would still think that we might be reasonably confident because we haven't lost to them at home.
Mhm.
The 3-3 draw last season comes to mind, where we were leading, and then as usual our defensive frailties showed up. But I would fathom about 9 from possible 15, maybe 10 if we draw Liverpool, but I think 9 from 15.
All right, that's pretty positive. All right, let's get into the game on Wednesday night against Norwich. It's our
Wait,
first.
I'm not letting you get off so easily. I want to know what you think.
Okay, so we definitely should be beating Norwich. I have a feeling if we can keep it tight, we might beat Wolves. Might beat Wolves. So get 6 points there. Uh, draw with draw with Leicester. Draw with Spurs. So that's 1 point. That's about 8 points there.
8 points.
Yeah, and then maybe draw to Liverpool as well. So 9 points. So it
Oh,
works
so
out to
it's
the
the
same
same
thing.
as
Yeah, it
works out
works
the
out to the
same
same
thing.
thing. Yeah, either we draw to Liverpool or I think we lose to Liverpool. So it's about 8 points out of 15 is what I'm getting. Yes.
Hmm.
Because the thing is, we're gonna go play at White Hart Lane, and I know whatever said and done, there's no
Wembley.
crowd.
At the new stadium, not White Hart Lane.
It's still the White Hart Lane, no?
No, no. Is it called the White Hart Lane?
Or it's the Tottenham Stadium. I don't know. Looks like
Whatever.
looks like a toilet bowl,
It's a
but
toilet anyways. Yeah, it
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
matter.
The thing is, the problem over there is that Mourinho, he loves playing against us, and he loves upsetting us. And our record against Mourinho is abysmal. I think we've beaten him once under Wenger. And has did Unai Emery beat Mourinho? Did we beat his United? I think we beat them
No,
once
we beat them
at
2
the Emirates,
nil
I think.
at the Emirates, and then we drew 2-2 after Auba missed that penalty and Ramsey scored that solo goal.
Mhm. So yeah, our record against Mourinho is abysmal, which I'm guessing he's going to come park the bus, hit us on the brake as usual.
Yeah, but it's not the
But
same Mourinho anymore. So plus it's Arteta now. So I think
let's see.
well,
Let's
you're right. I Yeah. No, I
fingers
think we'll
crossed.
beat Spurs. I think we'll beat Spurs. I think Arteta will have them up for that game because he's going. This Jose's up to his old nonsense now. He's talking about how players under him have scored 60 goals in 3 seasons and some random
Yeah,
numbers like
he
that
came out with
without
a stat saying that Drogba scored
some
186 goals in 3 seasons.
100 in 3 seasons. Yeah,
That's
like
never
that's what
happened.
60 goals a season. That's never happened.
That's never happened. That's never happened. The only time that happened is when he had Cristiano Ronaldo under him, and that's like once or twice that happened. But yeah,
That's never happened. So I remember watching that
press.
segment. I'm like, no, that didn't happen. Like it
Yeah,
fake news, So
that's that's Mourinho. I mean,
um,
he loves doing that.
yeah,
Anyway, just before I get into the Norwich game, I was actually watching the Leicester Chelsea FA Cup game yesterday. If you managed to watch it, the first half, Leicester ripped into Chelsea, and I and I don't know how Chelsea managed to keep it 0-0, but Leicester should have been at least 4-5 goals up. And if Leicester start the way that they did against Chelsea, we are in for a big one that night. Because I don't know how, but Brendan Rodgers, like Klopp, gets his teams to start on the front foot and start with so much energy. Like a team like us takes about a good 10-15 minutes to start, right? Or even if we start fast, then we dip. But these guys can consistently keep that, you know, upped energy. And yesterday, Leicester, that Tielemans, NDD, they were amazing in midfield. And if our midfield plays the way that we've been playing, they will run all over us. So anyway, that's for later. Let's get into the Wednesday night game. It's our first game at the Emirates after 4 away games. Um, Looking back to coming back to the Emirates, I mean, it's going to be different. There's no crowd over there, but the players should feel better. Um, Norwich not doing too well. Almost almost saved it against United in the FA Cup, 1-1 with 10 men. With Maguire, I think, scoring in extra time with like
80,
five. Yeah,
yeah, 118th minute or
100,
something.
yeah, with 2 minutes to go. So they got really
Mm.
unlucky there. But again, Norwich are a hard-working team. Uh, Cantwell is amazing. Timo Pukki's had a great season as well. So we have to be very careful because any team that turns up against us turns out to be Barcelona, like prime Barcelona, and they come and they show. So all of us are right now expecting this to be a easy game. I Let me tell you this: it's not going to be easy. If the players are going to come and think that they're going to come and just show up and turn up and win the game, it's not going to happen. I hope Arteta drills this into them because Arsenal teams are known for doing this in the past, for thinking that they're a smaller team, we're going to show up, we're going to win, and most of the times it's ended in disappointment. So I'm hoping Arteta can drill them in such a way that he knows that this is a vital game, because if we win this game, then it gives us a good springboard for the game against Wolves on the weekend. And he managed to rest Aubameyang as well, so I'm sure he's waiting to go. Auba's not scored in the last 4 games, and that's not happened for the last 5 years. So I'm guessing that he's itching to get onto the score sheet. So positive things to look forward to. So what do you think Arteta is going to line up with, and what do you think the score will be?
Uh, so I think the defense will be interesting. If it'll be interesting to see if Socrates comes back in. He did get a run out for a short bit against Sheffield after Luis went off. It depends who starts. I think Mustafi will start. Mustafi and Belden, I think, will be there for sure because Ainsley came in, or he might just give Ainsley another game because Belden's looked off. But I think it probably will be Belden and Mustafi. along with Holding and Tierney.
Are you going back four, back five?
Uh, Four. I'm going back because we're playing at home. It doesn't make sense to play back five because we need the points. Um, it'll probably be Xhaka and Ceballos in the middle with Saka, Lacazette, and Pepe up front, and I think it'll be a toss-up Xhaka, Oba, and Pepe. Did I say Xhaka? I mean Saka. Saka, Oba, and Pepe. And I think it'd be a toss-up between playing an extra striker up front or adding another body in midfield. I don't know where Ozil is. I don't know what the situation is. If he's back fit, then he'd probably play, or he might just put in a three-man midfield against have a play a 4-3-3 instead.
You know what really concerns me is that Saka has been the breakthrough star this season for us. It reminds me a lot of the year that Jack Wilshere came into the team. Um, Saka's already played 4 games in 12 days, and I don't know if you know. I know we've just come back of a 3 month coronavirus scene where there was no football, but I don't know if it's right to keep overplaying him. I know you can't drop him at the moment, but I'm just so scared that when you overplay youngsters, they end up getting injuries and they get such bad injuries that their careers can't progress after the age of 24, 25. Is what happened with Wilshere as well. But I understand Arteta not being able to drop Saka. I think you're right. I think he'll go with the back four, but he might give Tierney a rest as well because I think he want to prioritize the Wolves game where he's definitely going with the back five with Traore on that right is going to be really hard to defend. So I'm pretty sure he's going to go with Kolasinac this game so that he has Tierney. He gives Tierney a rest. I think Rob Holding will come back in and he'll play with Mustafi. And I don't know. Like I wouldn't want to drop Ainsley after the game that he had, but I don't know if he's going to bring back Bellerin or keep Ainsley. But if it was me, I'd probably pick Ainsley over Bellerin for now at least.
Do you think Suarez? Do you think Cedric Suarez gets a look in?
He's been training with the squad for the last 2.5 weeks. Both him and Torreira. I don't know how far out are they that they still they can't make the bench as well. But I think it would be a good game to actually blood Suarez in because it's a home game. It's not one of the big boys. Norwich are struggling, but yeah, I mean, if he's fit and available, it's a good opportunity to actually use him and test him to see how he can do for us.
Yeah, I mean, if we're like towards the last 15 minutes, if we're up by a few goals and we look comfortable, I think he can definitely come in. Or maybe the last 5 minutes also. Once the game is like set and we're comfortable and on our way to winning it. So yeah, you're right. Probably been off, at least on the bench at least.
I think because we're playing at home, I think he'd play a little more attacking midfield. I think the midfield will consist of Xhaka and Saka for sure. And he'd either play. I think he'd go with Joe Willock instead of Ceballos because I think Joe Willock gives him that little extra running from midfield that Ramsey used to do, which Ceballos doesn't do. But I think he'd probably start with Joe Willock. And Oba comes back into onto the left. Pepe starts on the right, and I think Eddie comes back in as well. So this is the lineup I think he's going to go with. What do you think your predictions are going to be?
No, I think we'll be. I don't expect us to struggle too much. And when I say too much, I think it will be a tough game. But seeing how where Norwich are, they really need the points, and they will come into it thinking that we're there for the taking, which might just play into our hands. Because if they go attacking and I think we have the quality to beat them. Also, we're coming back of two difficult away wins, so that confidence will also be there in the team. So I see us winning this by the odd goal. I think we'll end up winning.
Just give me a scoreline. 2-1, 3-2.
2-1. Yeah, 2-1. Two. Actually, no. I think it'll be 3-2. I think we'll definitely score more than 2.
Yeah. You think 3-2 we get somebody sent off at home?
For their side, yeah, I do think somebody will get sent off.
I'm talking about somebody from our side. It's highly possible, but that's Predictions wise, I think if we come out with the right mindset and if we play the way we're supposed to and not think that if we show up we'll win the game, I think we should comfortably win this game 3-1. I don't think we'll keep a clean sheet because we're still very vulnerable with set pieces. You saw that against Sheffield, them bombarding us with the corners and those long throw-ins really troubled us. They got away twice after having the ball in the back of the net. Lucky for us that VAR actually helped us this time. So yeah, I think we'll struggle on set pieces. But 3-1, I think we should comfortably win this, and that should be hopefully it should propel us into. If we win, I think we should go above Sheffield United, shouldn't we? If Sheffield wins,
I forget what the table is like, but yeah, we need
we're
to.
ninth.
We need to see start seeing results go our way. Um, I don't know what the other fixtures are like, but I would like to start seeing likes of Spurs and Sheffield and Wolves,
Drop points.
Chelsea United even start dropping points now because they've United has been on an unbelievable run, like 13 undefeated so far. Chelsea have looked good, plus they've strengthened, so I think they have confidence going to the new season as well with some core players that they've signed. Um, Spurs are Mourinho's back to his old habits of throwing players under the bus with Ndombele being the latest. Um, yeah, no, I really hope we get our job done and just sit back and watch other teams play because look if they win and they do their job then there's not much we can do, but we have to try as far as possible to get our job done, and hopefully for once take advantage of the fact that the other teams have dropped points because we've just not been smart enough about that over the last few seasons, not last couple. Like I can remember at least five instances in the last 2 years where we've had the chance to make up points and we just didn't do it.
Mm.
So yeah, I hope that happens and we're smart about how we play and we end up winning.
All right.
Also, it just saves us from relegation. So
All right. Just before we wrap up, there, I had to actually, we have to mention this. The season that Liverpool have had has been phenomenal. And
yeah,
if you actually look back to when Klopp came in, and the players that he had and he had to work with, and the players that he signed in the first 2 seasons to where he is and what they've become is phenomenal. If there's ever a blueprint,
he said 4 years
players.
is when they start
And
winning.
and
And
to be honest, it wasn't. He reached the Europa League final in the first year. Fine, he lost that. Second year, made the Champions League final, lost that again. Third year, reached the Champions League final, won that. And fourth year, he won them the Premier League. So I
isn't
mean,
this his fifth year in charge?
no, this is his fourth year.
Is it? I thought
Yeah,
this was his
no,
fifth
no,
year
no.
in charge.
So if there's ever a blueprint for any club to go by, is I think Liverpool is that you trust the manager, you trust the process, you back the manager, uh, and you just
No, also I think you're forgetting a very important piece. You have a
strong-minded
a board and as
board.
a
Yeah,
board that's as invested in the club as FNG Sports have been. FSG, I think
FSG.
FSG. Um, they've changed the structure of that entire club in a matter of years.
Hmm.
And yeah, they have, and they did make mistakes along the way, signing players like um,
They had players like Insua and like
in Insua and just very random
Lazar
players.
Markovic and like
I remember when they spent like 35 million on Henderson, or I don't know what amount it was, and I was like, they're
no Andy
buying
Carroll.
Henderson from no, even Henderson
Yeah,
when he first came in from Sunderland,
Sunderland
was it?
25 million.
Yeah, and I was like, are they serious? Like like Henderson, like can they be more static than they already are?
No, but the thing is, you know what?
And
If you put up if you do a comparison of the best midfielders in the world, I don't think Henderson makes the top 20. But the way the Klopp has got the system working and got Henderson working in that system is something else. I mean, if you take out Henderson and you put him into an Arsenal team, he wouldn't transform that Arsenal team, right? But if you take out someone like a Pogba or you take out someone like a Kante from Chelsea and you put them into an Arsenal team, they can transform the Arsenal team, right? So
yeah,
that's the difference. That's the difference. So
like I mean, and plus like they've had I think one of the most versatile players ever in James Milner to fill in slots like no other player I think I've seen. From playing fullback to playing as a winger to a midfielder to a defensive midfielder to a box to box player. Supreme levels of fitness for a player like that. And he doesn't seem to get old. Like he's been there for a while now.
And forget that they've lost one game and drawn two. They won the rest.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like, when you're playing on your video game and you play and, you cheat and it's like every time you lose, you quit the game and you restart it again. It's almost like that. To show that level of
Look,
consistency.
I think outside of the City games who were actually competitive, I think everyone else has just been terrible this season. So while I think the numbers do seem for great reading, I do think that um, everyone else has been really crappy.
Also, but let's not forget, he didn't sign anybody in the window. He didn't sign
They
anybody.
didn't, yeah, they didn't. I
And
think they just signed. Allison only came in last year in the
Allison
summer.
came in last year. And the thing is, you know what? Last year they should have been champions. They got 96 points. And
Yeah,
only City pipped them with 1 point more because that
yeah.
was the best City team ever. So ideally, Liverpool should have been European champions last year and Premier League champions last year. And for them to go on and say, you know what, we did 96 points, and to come back and have that motivation to come back and smash it out this
Do
year
it again, yeah. Smash it again, yeah.
is props to them,
Yeah,
man.
no, I think credit where it's due.
Yeah.
They've been fabulous. I have a good friend who's a Liverpool supporter, and um, I think he's seen his team go through. I mean, Liverpool were in administration, almost into administration a few years ago until they got bought out by Gillette and Hicks, and then the FSG came in. Um, I mean, and if I'm quite honest, I'd rather have Liverpool win it than Chelsea or United win it.
Hmm.
Rather have Liverpool over United win it.
Of course, of
So,
course. I mean,
uh,
they've done it the right way. Fine, they've got the backing,
yeah,
but why not? They play great football.
and you're right, you're 100% right. I think if there is a model for us to follow um, on what to do and what not to do, I don't know if you've had to look at the Guardian article that have been coming out this way. That club, from kitmen to nutritionists
Hmm.
um, to backroom coaching stuff, they have a throwing specialist. So for Klopp to have made adjustments, even finer tweaks to give them the edge, I think there's a lot to learn from Klopp, and I think the board needs to step up and be smart about what they're doing. Sure, like transfer deals like Coutinho's 150, whatever ridiculous sum that was, have also helped along the way. But then they've invested that money smartly in buying players that one fit into what Klopp wants, and also into the philosophy of what Liverpool's about. Because at the end of the day, when these players came in, none of them were like really really big name players. They were all players who've done reasonably well at other clubs and have now made, like, the collective is the sum of the whole is better than some of the parts.
And if you
So
see, what is really important is getting the spine of the team right. And he did that over
yeah,
3 seasons. Allison paid 73 million for him. Doesn't matter, world class goalkeeper.
Van
Van Dijk,
Dyke 70 million.
80 million, 70, 80 million for
Yeah.
him. Yeah. Then went and got Fabinho, right? Who's world class. Like, I mean, didn't play him for the first
Mhm.
6 months, but whatever, is world class. And then you have like players like Salah and Mane up front. It's it's amazing. It's amazing. It's props to them. Credit where due. They have been amazing. Klopp's been amazing, and I think if Klopp sticks around for another 3 4 years, they definitely are going to win.
Yeah, no, Klopp's not going anywhere. I think Klopp has now written his name in Liverpool folklore and legend. Like, he's being talked amongst the likes of Kenny Dalglish and the other Liverpool legends. So, credit to them. I think
Yeah,
they've reaping the fruits of their proper successful planning and identifying who to get. And they're a very well done club, and we're in a similar position now to what they were a few years ago. So if this is what it is needed, then I'm all in for it. I just don't trust this board to make the right decisions. But anyways,
Don Raul.
that's for another episode. That's a long road ahead. But thank you guys. That's been our episode. Thank you, Ashwin. As once again, as Ashwin said, our socials. We're on Twitter at the Arsenal Away. We're on Facebook. We have a Facebook page, so please like, comment, give us your feedback on what you think is happening with us, your prediction for the remainder of the season, and of course your prediction for the FA Cup semi-final. We're in Wembley once again, and of course on YouTube. This is where we post our stuff. You can go check out our older episodes. Subscribe, click the bell icon to get notified whenever we go and post a new video, which is now pretty much twice a week. So yeah, give us a shout out on Twitter, on Facebook, and yeah, hope to hear from you guys soon. Thanks, Ashwin.
Thanks, guys.